to the cloud. Yep. So when I say a.abs, it says just, when I open the parenthesis, there is no value that is to be taken. It just says self in the sense a, which is already given. So forget about it. You got this executed. Absolute value in the sense, even though if you give a negative number, it will be a positive one. So all these operations you need to get in hand. So how, I just told you that if I know how to operate this, obviously I'll be know how to operate this if I have ideally in my hands, right? Because it's a helper tool. When I hit on dir of, I get all the methods. Then I hit on help of int, I get all the methods with their explanations. So for example, yeah, add in the sense self value, which is nothing but this slash u. It's just like a terminator. Leave about that. And what it returns is self plus value in the sense addition. It is called and. What it returns is and. I mean and operator. It means you need to convert into binary and then you need to do binary and. Binary and in the sense 0 0 is 0, 1 1 is 1, or something like that. So 0 0 is 0, 1 0 is 0, 0 1 is 0, 1 1 is 1, like that. So you get this GE operator, which is returning greater than or equal to. It is just a check. Like that, it's all self-explanatory. So if you know this, you'll be able to handle any module. How is that possible? So let me just show you an instance. Gosh, it's taking forever. Okay, fine. Yep, I got it right. Yep, I just installed a package called requests. It has some other additional functionality. I just imported the request module. If you see this, these are all the methods or attributes that you can perform with these requests. That's it. You don't have to search anywhere for this. So, for example, if I do this, it accepts args and quarks, arguments and keyword arguments. Sorry. So it's again a helper tool. Help of requests. You got all this package contents and all, how it is built, what it is used for, stuff like that. So if you can know all the attributes present inside each module, you can play around with it. Even for pandas, even for NumPy arrays, matplotlib, advanced data science modules, may it be anything. So I want you to be very sure about this data structure, data types, their attributes, their magic methods and stuff. So without wasting much time, I will just quickly traverse to the PPT that I would follow just for the reference, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And comments in Python are two types, one line by line and paragraph comments. Line by line comments will be like starting with hash. This is a line comment. So nothing's printed out there. So comments are basically used to make the developer understand what the code is about. So that's about it. And then when it comes to paragraph comment, This is a paragraph or multi-line comment. So this basically is a multi-line comment. This is treated as such. Uh, and there is something else called black code comment. So it is the same thing as that. What it means is it does have a specific functionality. Whenever you define a function, only then you use this black quotes, because we call it as. That's just a standard. We'll discuss more about it in functions. But for now, the function, the comment section for Python is two things. One is line by line, and the other is paragraph. Line by line is hash, paragraph is triple quotes. And yeah, for beginners, I would suggest you ideally, but if you are a pro in Python, it depends on the way you are working, on which module you're working. If you're working on a front end like that, you can use PyCharm. It's a very strong and powerful tool with a lot of utilities, but it occupies a lot of RAM and resources. That PyCharm is a powerful one, yet with a weight. It uses a lot of resources. And we also use Sublime Editor. We use Atom. Atom is GitHub's open source Python interpreter. It does have a lot of functionalities again, like coloring or decorating the content in Python, debugging or whatever it is. So that's about the interpreters available in the market. But the best one I like personally is bashing, the bash script. So this is what most of the companies follow also, because usually there is a requirement where you need to integrate Python with shell scripting. Shell is always done in terminal, not in the interpreters. So that's why we just use it in a bashing way. So that's about the interpreters that are available in the market for Python. You can choose anyone. Again, the difference between the interpreters is nothing. For data science and data analytics, we use something called IPython notebooks. These IPython notebooks has different flavors. They can be used in different tools. I mean, they can be integrated in different tools. So the most famous one are the cloud utilities of Python, which is called as Anaconda Python. Anaconda Cloud, we say. We have separate certain thing called Spider, which has IPython integration. We'll discuss that a lot more. But in a high level, there are a lot of interpreters which does the same job. That's it. And Python is implemented over C language firstly, because Guido van Rossum is a pro in C language. What he did is he explored the language front and back, and then he found a lot of loopholes which C fails to do certain job specific functionalities. So what he did is there's a need to develop another language which should be very easy to code. Means high level language, not like not a mid level language like C. So, and it should be performance effective, and it should be like almost you can do anything about it. So that's how Python came into picture. We call it as CPython. And after that, the beauty of Python is for Java, if you take Java, there are only a dedicated team of 500 members who will develop this Java or who will take care of enhancements and all stuff. It's not an open source. But for Python, you and I can also be a contributor. So that's why what happened is the experts in C also joined the club. So Python is more stronger than previously now. Not only Guido van Rossum, everybody who else can contribute and who has the ability to code in C language in a professional way, they also have joined the hands. And then why not we, Java experts who are actually waiting to contribute more to Java, but they're not able to because it's not an open source. So they also mingled with these guys, and they had released something called Jython, which has the interface of Java in the background. And there's another competitor for us all the time, .NET, and then they also have joined their hands, and we call it as Iron Python. So it means now Python has become a superset of these three languages. So you can do almost anything and everything when you say when you are able to do with these three languages independently. So that's how more stronger the Python language now in the market is. So I do follow a procedure for this. This tutorial, I'll share you the videos, if not one video at a time. So because I'll take a lot of effort for that, but I'll share you the videos in the bulk level. Uh, I also have PPTs for this. PPTs are in the sense like I just had created some, I mean, I executed the programs in IDLEs so that it will be a walkthrough for you. Just if you're about to enter an interview panel, if you can do a walkthrough over the PPTs, that's more than good enough for you. Most of the concepts will be covered in here itself. So what are the string methods that you commonly use that a common interviewer can ask? From basics till a mid-level range I've covered. And I also have documents. The documents actually I have written in such a way that even if you have zero knowledge in Python, you'll be able to understand that. So how a for loop works, like all the flow chart I've just represented in a diagrammatic fashion, and I'm sure you'll be loving it. Also got some good feedbacks from my students. But I will be definitely sharing with you those documents. Not very sure where I kept it, but yeah, I'll share you both the files. So this will be a quick review, but those PPTs will be your guide to follow up the concepts for coding. But again, do not rely on those docs forever. Just to understand the basics, you can rely on them. And then what you can trust more if you are acquainted, once you are acquainted with this Python, is python.org. Nothing other than that. That's making that point very clear. Let us proceed further. Do you have any doubts till now?
We're good as of now.
Okay. Yep. Sushmita, do you have any doubts?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Yep. So you don't even have a doubt on how these classes are written, or what a class is, or what a method is. A method should return something, but it should be defined. Even though if you define a method, you need to call that method. There are no such doubts at all. Right. Fine. How do you print a statement in Python? Is it a print statement?
Print and yeah.
So print is implemented as a function in Python 3 version, but if you're in Python 2 version, you can do this.
Yeah, the basis is not required.
Yeah, so it doesn't work in 3, but it works in 2, because Python 3 has this this print as implemented as a function. Function in the sense it should have parentheses and argument should be passed. I mean, whatever you pass inside parentheses is called as an argument. So now, since you're passing this, the background of it will be an argument passed to this function called print. I just wanted to ask you something. So, do you have any handy experience in Python? Anyone?
Handy experience in the sense, not like in-depth experience, but for my coursework, I had to do some assignments and some projects. So I really learned it in a hard way, whatever was required for that particular assignments kind of thing.
Okay. You know how to implement functions, define them, call them.
Yeah, to some extent.
Okay. And Sushmita, how about you?
Yeah, I have also done the courseworks and assignments. Yeah, I know how to define the functions and classes, all the things.
Okay.
I've done it in 3.6, so I'm not used to with the 2 version.
Yeah,
okay.
same.
Yeah, I got it. So probably
I have
you should.
on my them, but I have never used it because I didn't do data analysis yet. But I know it has been for the data analysis. But my professor suggested me to use Jupyter rather than Spider. I don't know why, but yeah, there might be some
For analytics, mostly they'll use that.
Jupyter.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay.
We'll discuss that why it is used like that. So it's not Jupyter, it's IPython. So Jupyter has IPython already built in it. Even Spider has IPython running in the background. Yeah, we'll discuss that when you come to analytics. But I was under the impression that there is someone who doesn't know anything about functions, arguments, but still they are not responding. So if it is the case, please do ask questions and respond more.
I mean, it will be better if you can, just brief about the function and these things in the next class. I mean, just to get touch base with that, and then we can move forward.
Yeah, sure. That will come over when we come in functions, but still, I would expect if I know that I am telling about a concept which I am sure someone doesn't know, I would expect a question, right? So
yeah. Because in my case, whatever it is, like I have just learned it online, whatever available, and then I tried working on that. So when we have somebody to discuss and interact, so I feel like even there are certain the background of each concept, then I think it gives a better understanding.
yes, we'll explore more.
Okay.
And it also makes it interesting. Yeah, I agree. We are talking about the print statement. This is how you print. If you want to ask a user an input, we'll just ask input. Let's say enter a number. So it will prompt for a number. Give a number, goodbye. So it now printed number as a string. Why do I say this is whenever you declare something in single quotes is called as a string in Python. That's how it defines this as a string. Or whenever you declare something in double quotes, still it's a string. So whenever you declare in triple quotes, still it is considered as a string. So when I would declare something like this, but it is in number range, it is called as an integer. Whenever you declare something like this with a decimal, it is called as a float.
I think to enter integer, it should be input, then bracket, then int, then enter a number, right?
Sorry?
If we want to take it as an integer,
Okay.
the int command should be used, right?
That was about, I was going to come to there. So this input is by default accepting something called as string. But if you want to limit that, you need to do typecasting. Typecasting in the sense data type is casted like this. So the input should be int. Input, whatever you said is exactly correct. Enter number. So when I say like this, it says invalid literal for int. It should be like this. So when I copy and paste this here, this will happen. Now it takes, but it takes as a 2, which is an integer, unlike this case here. So if you want to print something in float, then have any idea? Never tried? Is it so?
I mean, is it for float? Is it necessary to typecast, or I think we can directly type
Directly?
No, it is also required because normally it only takes the string. So I think it was float, it seems like. I forgot the command name.
I'll tell you a blinder. If I declare something called floats, the color is changed.
No.
If it is float, the color is now changed, right? It means this color has a significance. It says that there is a functionality for this keyboard. So this will be it. Float of input.
Float, yeah, not floats, yeah.
Oh, I was just saying about the color. So you can recognize whether it is correct or not.
Yeah, right.
Even input has the same color as float now. So enter a number. So if I do this, it takes it as a float.
Okay.
This is about asking user input in different types of data types, whatever you wish. So if you want to ask user input of a string, then what you will do? Maybe str of input.
Yeah.
Is it so? Agreed,
But
everyone?
you don't need a str command anyway, because it anyway takes as a string.
Exactly. But still, str works.
Yeah, it works, but it's not needed as well like that, I hope.
Yes, exactly. So that was what we saw here, right? It is taken as a string. I
Yes.
mean, when you pass 2 for the first time. So that's about asking user input. And yep, we pretty much covered about the integers. There's nothing much except that you need to explore more about the methods and attributes available in those. Uh, Moving forward to strings and even floats. If you want to discuss what a float is, here you go. So if I want to know what are available in float, this is pretty much 95% same of what you find in integers. So you can add, you can take the absolute value, Boolean value, delete attributes, directory, I mean dir function. So these are all has got their own significances and functionalities. So I call that every variable or everything in Python, whatever you see, is considered as an object. So that's basic understanding that you need to remember. Why I'm pressing on this. Object in the sense, it's not a variable anymore. A is equal to 2 in the sense, is it like you are assigning 2 to the A? No, it's not like that. I'll show you why it is not like that. When I type ID of A, I got some ID here. So what do you think about it? So it's a storage space, let us say. B is equal to 3. When I hit ID of B, what do I get? Exactly, but not exactly same. It says 648, it says 664. Maybe another beside node, maybe.
It's the disk image. I mean, disk storage number, I think.
Not exactly, but
It's
closer.
saving it some. It's what it is called, the index.
Uh, I'll be back in 10 seconds. My battery is low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good guess. And any more guesses what this ID is? So I'll give you a clue. Every language will have a storage mechanism. Most popular ones are 90%. The languages will use only two: stack and heap. So your options are stack and heap. What will be the storage space that belongs to this ID? Stack or heap? There are no answers.
I didn't get your question. Sorry.
Okay. So every language will follow a storage mechanism.
Right.
So if you declare a variable in C, I'm pretty much sure that they will be stored in stack, stack. Sorry. First of all, let me ask you this question. Do you have any idea about stack and heap? Oh, sorry. Do you don't have any idea about stack and heap? Anyone who doesn't know about stack and heap?
Heap, I can't recall.
Okay,
But
stack you know,
stack, I
right?
know. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Heap is something dynamic memory. Is that
Yeah.
memory allocation? I mean, dynamic memory allocation.
Yeah, exactly. And Prasanna, you know about these two things, right?
Yeah, I know.
You know about stack and heap both?
I know stack.
Okay. Hey, Shruti.
Hey
What,
Kiran,
what is this ID?
it's the storage ID where it's the stack, the heap storage ID.
What is it?
Heap storage ID, the where.
Okay. So Python has a way of dealing the storage to, I mean, it uses only heap. So for every language, stack and heap will be available. What happens is, that's how Python also started when it is working on 2 version. So it has stack and it also has heap, but now it has altered its architecture and everything is heap now. Forget about what a stack and heap for now. Let me tell you the basic understanding of an object in Python. So if I hit an ID of A, I got an ID. If I hit ID of B, I got this ID, which by vision, by your common sense, we can say 648 and 664, which are side by side, right? So each ID has a separation of it's 26, right? So 26 bytes of separation. So if I say, if I declare some C is equal to 8, ID of C. So exactly again, there is a bit more separation for C. So forget about the length and what is the separation points and all. But the main prime focus here is, I'll declare D as 2. What will be the ID of 2? ID of D? Any wild guess?
So
Same.
7, 6, 8. The last
So
or 8.
this is the same as whatever you say here.
The same.
So this is what I'm speaking about.
So it's not about the object, it's about the number.
Yeah, exactly. So A is equal to 2 never assigns the value. It doesn't mean that 2 is assigned to A at all.
I think it's a reference number.
Okay. If I assign 2, A is equal to 2, then what happens is, this A will be mapped to 2. When I declare C is equal to 2, you are hitting the same value again, same ID. This will be mapped to the same ID. So it means, by this means you're achieving space efficiency. So 2 is constant when it is declared and its ID is constant. 2 will stick on to the same index. I mean index in the sense the address, which is nothing but the ID. But objects that you're declaring are changing here. So for example, in there's a logic that you're implementing and you're using, let's say you're using a variable called count. Count is equal to 0 and your next iteration count is equal to 1 and then your next iteration count is equal to 2. In that case also, that count refers to this object itself, this reference itself, that object count. So this is called, this is why we call these variables as objects. They are not holding a value. I mean, they're not holding an address in the heap. They are just objects. So for example, if you define a function, it's an object. A function will carry out a logic, that's it. It's not a permanent address that is allocated to the function. It's just like that. So that's why everything is called as an object in Python. And one more thing we'll discuss in very later point of thing is, later point of sessions is, variables in Python are not at all lesser than functions in Python. So every variable has some properties where a function also can attain those. It's not possible in Java, it's not possible in C. It's possible in JavaScript, it's possible in Python. So you can assign a value to a variable, right? You can assign value to a function also. You can pass a variable inside a function, right? We call it as an argument. We can also pass function inside another function. You can return a value as a result, right? So in a function, so for example, you define a function where that function gives you an output as addition of two numbers, let's say. You can make the same thing happen using functions. You can return another function as an output of another function. So we call it as higher order functions. That's the beauty of it, because everything is an object, everything has same priorities and same functionalities. So I think that does for this introduction session. There are no certain tasks that I can give you for now. If you have any questions, I can address them. Did you understand this? So how it is actually done, the IDs and their assignments?
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you going to share this PPT?
Of course I will do. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Then if you don't have any questions, we can wind up. Thank you so much for joining the session. No
Yeah,
questions?
thank you.
Thank you, Kiran.
Yep. And one more thing, please. The document, I just need your mail ID so that I'll share this document with Edit Access, so that you can just fill up with your own sheet numbers. I mean, if create your own sheet, everybody can be able to edit that at one go. I want the tasks I'll be giving you going forward. You can paste them in that as your answers for those tasks. Or you can also prepare your interview questions when I'm going through. Whenever you prepare in your notepad or something, you can just copy paste that. Or if you're writing your notes, if you see that it's an interview question, then you can just append it over there.
Okay.
Okay. See you then tomorrow then.
All right. Thank you, Kiran.
Thank you.
Thank you.